Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Good, Bethany. How are you today?
Pretty good. The Nielsen's 3-minute rule. This has been the hot topic for some time now. The rule was implemented in January. And Mark, I wanted to have you on this morning because I know you're eager to provide some very timely guidance to everyone in the industry, particularly radio stations that are going to be dealing with advertisers and agencies that may want to make some changes now to their schedules based on this new rule. So I wanted to provide you the opportunity to give us a little bit of background and then also share your guidance with us since the time is now to make some action on this. So the floor is yours.
Thanks, Bethany. And thanks everybody for listening. Uh, Let me just give a little background. Nielsen made a big change a few weeks ago. Uh, they changed the way radio is being credited for listening that has always been happening, but we weren't getting credit for. It's the most significant change to the ratings methodology since PPM was implemented back between 2008 and 2011. Prior to January 8th, a listener needed to have 5 minutes of listening in a quarter hour. So the way Nielsen does this is if you take the clock, 0 to 15, 15 to 30, those are the quarter hours. So you had to have 5 minutes of listening within any one of those quarter hours to get credit for it. There was a lot of listening. Nielsen estimated it was around 45% of the listening that was happening for 1, 2, 3, or 4 minutes in a quarter hour. And what they've done is changed the rules. So now any listening that adds up to at least 3 minutes or 4 minutes in the quarter hour is now given credit as well. So starting on January 9th, a station was getting credit for that listening that they were not getting credit for before. Again, the listening was happening, we just weren't getting credit for it. What we saw was on a station by station basis, the increase is all over the place. But on average, it's in the low to mid 20% increase for AQH. And it's going to differ by station, it's going to differ by market, it's going to differ by format, by day part, by demo. But that's the average. And it's supposed to be more TSL than CUME, but we're still looking at that to try and figure out how it really is shaking out now that the real data is coming out. So for those of you that were around when PPM was introduced, on a given Wednesday, listening was measured with a diary. And then on Thursday, it was measured with a meter. And all of a sudden on Thursday, Nielsen was reporting 35 to 45% less listening was happening. Now, the listening didn't change from Wednesday to Thursday. It was just the measurement methodology that changed. But because radio wasn't prepared to explain this to the advertisers, radio rates and revenue declined dramatically during that period. Remember, actual listening hadn't changed, and advertisers would have still been able to get the same real world results on Thursday as they were getting on Wednesday, but they decided that they wanted to pay less for that inventory. So I think the bottom line is we also had the double whammy of the Great Recession overlapping with the years when Arbitron was making this change. So it was just challenging on all fronts. So fast forward to today. What I'm going to discuss obviously applies to transactional business that's conducted on GRPs, CPPs, or CPMs. So let's say before the change, it took a 200 spot schedule to achieve 100 GRPs. After this change, when you run it against the new ratings, the schedule is going to show like it's delivering, let's say on average, 125 GRPs instead of 100. So in the best case scenario, the advertiser would say, wow, I didn't realize all that listening was happening and we were getting it for free before, so we'll pay radio for that listening that we weren't paying for before. Nobody I speak to believes that that is a realistic expectation. In the worst case scenario, the advertiser might seek to reduce their schedule because they're just going to keep trying to achieve 100 GRPs, and it's going to take fewer spots to achieve the 100 GRPs. And obviously that's going to reduce demand for radio inventory, and rates are going to decline as a result. So what I think we should be shooting for is the middle ground. We need to convince advertisers that they should be modifying their campaign goals upward, Now they want to achieve, instead of 100 GRPs with that campaign, they want to achieve 125 GRPs, let's say. So rather than cut their schedule to continue to achieve 100 GRPs, they'll pay basically the same amount for the same real world results. That's the key. Real world results versus results on paper. Now we're showing the listening or the schedule is delivering 125 GRPs. Under the 5-minute rule, it would have still been delivering 100 GRPs. So let's try and keep the schedules the same and increase the metric that the agencies are using to buy the campaign.
Yeah, and I think one of the concerns, obviously, about sales teams approaching, like you said, people who are doing transactional business, is that they're aware of the Nielsen change. They've been following the trades and they know what it means. But like you said, it's this understanding of the real world results versus what they're seeing on paper, and running the risk of them saying, oh, well, we don't need to spend as much money. We can cut back and everything will still be as it was. And what you're explaining to us is that's not the case. If they cut back, they're actually going to be reaching less people.
Right, right. And if the campaign as it was run before was effective, you're going to be less effective now because you're going to be reaching fewer people, fewer times. And we all know that more reach and more frequency makes campaigns more effective.
Yeah, and I think you said too, the timing on this is important, because obviously the rule's already gone into effect. It happened in early January, so we have now January. We're about to have February data, right? Then we'll have March. You feel like this is really the time when the discussions should start happening, rather than waiting until even a few more months down the road.
We're calling it a pre-buttal. Instead of a rebuttal, waiting for rebutting them, a pre-buttal. Go out there and explain to them what's happening, that the audience is basically the same as it always was. Now radio's getting credit for it. And now instead of buying, again, in this example, 100 GRPs, you should up that metric to 125. And it's going to take approximately the same number of spots to achieve that because the ratings are higher.
Yeah, I think this is really important too, and something I like to mention, that we mentioned too when we've been doing this content related to the 3-minute rule, is that if you guys want some more guidance, we're happy to come on. Mark will provide consultations to your sales team. Make sure that you're prepared to address this, and the time is now. So please reach out and let us know if we can be any more help in that area. We'll be continuing to talk about the 3-minute rule in some of our upcoming podcast episodes, and we hope you guys find this information useful. Please let us know your thoughts and feedback. And thank you again, Mark, for your time today on this very important topic. We will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Bethany.